So, meet Rappa. Pink-haired ninja surfs through space and she raps. Because in the vast, endless universe apparently someone thought, you know what we need? A ninja on a surfboard dropping bars. Makes total sense, right? But let's be real here for a moment. Honkai Star Rail isn't exactly shy when it comes to wild character designs. This is a game where a talking cat can out-DPS your entire squad. As such, Rappa fits right in. She's an imaginary erudition DPS character, which basically means she's here to break your opponent's toughness, morale, and your will to save Stellar Jades. You name it, she breaks it. Now don't let her pink hair and the whole ninja vibe fool you, she's not here to mess around. Well, maybe a little bit, but beneath all that flashy surfboard stuff, she's got a serious job to do. Break enemy toughness over and over again until they can't take it anymore. And let's not forget her surfboard. It is not just for show, she actually uses it in order to move around. Because apparently when you are a ninja in space, you can't just run like a normal person would. You've got to surf. As such, let us get started by talking about her talents. As a small note here, this is creator experience server footage. As such, everything you are about to see is still subject to change. Alright, first up, her basic attack. Nothing fancy going on here at first glance, she just throws out some imaginary damage. That is kinda it. But when you power it up by using your ultimate, it starts getting stupid. It is divided into a 3-stage attack. The first 2 attacks will hit your main target and adjacent targets. However, her last attack will hit every single opponent on the field. On top of that, even enemies who are not weak to imaginary damage will take toughness damage. It is like she's saying, oh, you thought you were safe, cute, let me tell you, you aren't. The downside, it doesn't recover any skill points, at least when using your enhanced basic attack. And you only have access to her enhanced basic attack while her ultimate is active. Speaking about her ultimate, we have Nindo Supreme Aishiteru. When using it, Rappa enters her seal form, because obviously a ninja needs a transformation, right? I mean, what would Naruto be without all of his transformations? Oh, by the way, this animation is so sick, I absolutely love it. Either way, her ultimate gives you an extra turn and powers up your break damage to insane levels, as if she wasn't already breaking enough stuff. On top of that, she obtains 3 charges of Chroma Ink. Why ink? Your guess is as good as mine, but it looks cool and that is all that matters. Not to mention all of her attacks are very inky. Makes you wonder where she's actually getting all of that ink from. Is there some secret type of intergalactic ink society in Honkai Star Rail? Who knows. Chroma Ink will basically be the stack count for your enhanced basic attack. So you only have a few uses of it per ultimate, and while it is active you do not have access to your skill and your ultimate itself. Next up we have her talent. Ninja Attack Endurance Gauge. Fancy name, right? Basically every time Rappa weakness breaks an enemy, she gains a point of charge, and she can hold up to 10 of those. You won't need to memorize them though, because each charge basically amps up your break effect damage by 50%, and you're going to want to have as many of those as you can get. Once you've got her enhanced basic attack going, your third attack will deal extra break damage based on the amount of stacks you have. That is kinda all there is to it. It is a massive damage increase to your enhanced basic attack. Lastly, we have her skill. Her skill is the least interesting part of her kit. It looks very fancy and does some damage to all enemies on the field, but it does not have any synergy with the rest of her kit. Besides the fact that it will generate energy for your ultimate. It does imaginary damage, so you can technically break opponents by using it, but that is about it. Now let us talk about passive traces. These are like the fine print on any ninja contract. Easy to overlook, but pretty crucial for her entire kit. First up, we've got Ninjutsu Inscription Sky High. Every time Rappa breaks an elite or higher level enemy, she gains 1 point of charge and 10 energy. It is like a ninja loyalty program. You break a tough guy and you get some nice rewards for it. Next is Ninjutsu Inscription Withered Leaf. Fancy name, but here's how it works. When you start stacking Rappa's attack beyond 2400, she starts gaining bonus break damage. Every 100 points will give you 1% bonus, maxing out at 8%. So the more you build her, the better she becomes, and it basically maxes out at 3200 attack. And finally there is Ninjutsu Inscription C Echo. This one's for when she is in her ultimate state. And it basically turns you into a walking super break machine. If you deal damage to a weakness broken enemy while she is in her seal form, her enhanced basic attack converts the toughness reduction into super break damage, hitting for 60% of your original value. Because apparently just breaking enemies wasn't enough, now she's breaking them super hard. The kind of overkill we all secretly love. Finally, her technique. Pure style. Rappa jumps on her board, moves around the battlefield, blocks every single attack and then casually breaks toughness like she's writing graffiti on a wall. If you attack your opponents while your technique is active. Because why walk when you can write? As a small side note here, regarding her ultimate, because I forgot to mention that earlier, you do get energy back when using your enhanced basic attack. Combined with her passive trace, which gives you energy back whenever you break an elite or higher level enemy, you will get most of your energy, if not all, back while using your ultimate. So you can technically chain ultimate after ultimate after ultimate. Really, really powerful. So yeah, that is Rappa, breaks enemies' toughness, surfs through space, and raps. It is weird, it is flashy, and somehow it works. But before you get too excited about pulling her, we've got to talk about Relics, light counts, team composition, and finally, if you should even pull her to begin with. Because there are some arguments, at least if you're free to play, where I can see why some people might decide to skip her, but more on that later on. When it comes to light counts, there are unironically not that many options you can choose from. Her best insert option is going to be either her signature light cone or Shamani Fall, specifically S5 Shamani Fall. If you don't have access to either of those, you can also go for Eternal Calculus, but it is not really that recommended, because it does not provide you with anything outside of attack. Shamani Fall will give you break effect and speed after you use your ultimate. Eternal Calculus, as mentioned, will give you a lot of attack, which will make it easier to max out your passive trace. And her signature light cone has a variety of buffs. First of all, it will give you a huge break effect increase, which is very much needed on Rappa, since she will need a lot of break effect in order to really shine. And on top of that, you will get 30 energy when entering battle, and you will advance her action by 50% after you use 2 basic attacks after using your ultimate. It is a really good light cone, which perfectly fits her entire playstyle. I mean, obviously, as it is her signature light cone. Everything else is not really that recommended. There are a few elements you need to know about break effect damage, so you understand why most of our Erudition light cones fall flat when it comes to our favorite ninja. The first one is break effect damage cannot crit. Crit rate and crit damage are absolutely worthless on Rappa. Secondly, break effect damage scales of break effect itself, break efficiency, and attack. Imaginary damage in the case of Rappa or fire damage in the case of Firefly will not increase your break effect damage. Attack will though. So keep that in mind when deciding what light cons and relics you want to use. Speaking of relics, let us talk about those for a moment here. Usually what most CCs out there do is to talk about all the different relic sets you can potentially use on her. But you do want your Rappa to absolutely shred her way through Pure Fiction and the like, right? As such, the simple answer here is going to be Iron Cavalry. For ornaments, unfortunately we cannot use the new break effect set on her because fire weakness is not really her thing, right? We have to fall back, once again, on our good old trusted Thalia set, which is actually really good because Rappa, just like Firefly, wants to have a lot of speed, and Thalia, well, you need speed in order to activate that passive effect. When it comes to stats, you will do the same as you do on Firefly, as much attack and break effect as you can get, while also going for speed, which basically translates to attack on your body, speed on your boots, attack on your sphere, and break effect on your link rope. For certain stat goals, simply make sure you have 3200 attack for her passive trace, at least 150 speed around that ballpark, and break effect as much as you can get. The more, the better. Do keep in mind though, speed also kinda depends on your teammates. Star Rail is a lot about speed tuning, because you usually want your support characters to go first, so keep that in mind, right? But as a small look into the future here, Ruin Mei is going to be one of her best teammates, and Ruin Mei, obviously her passive trace will increase your speed by 10%, so getting to 150 speed on on Rappa here is not really that difficult. So, let us talk teams. Rappa's all about break damage, and if you're thinking, oh, I will just throw her into any composition, well, good luck with that. The reality is, her team options right now are about as limited as our new companion pet. But don't worry, I've got you covered. First up, as mentioned before, we've got May, the one support character you absolutely need if you want to make Rappa shine. She's a queen of break effect boosting, buffing break effect damage, efficiency, overall damage, attack if I'm not mistaken, she kinda has it all. She's basically Rappa's personal hype woman, making sure that every single time you land a break, it really counts. If you don't have May, an alternative option here can be Tingyun, Handmarch, Peeler or Silverwolf. Basically any character who reduces enemies' toughness or enemies' defense rating, or who increases the damage you do to enemies, stuff like that, right? Bronya and Sparkle, for example, are not really that recommended because, if you remember, crit damage does not increase break effect damage. As such, those two characters, or any character like them, like Yukong for example, are not really that good. The speed boost from Bronya and Sparkle, for example, is fairly nice to have, so if you want to use them, then go ahead and do so. What do I care? Next, you will need the Harmony Trailblazer. Now this is another must-have for Rappa's break-heavy playstyle. Why? Super simple, because our Harmony Trailblazer pumps up your super break damage, and she's free to play, so all of you should have her. If you haven't built her yet, let me tell you, she's a really good unit for any team that is focused around super break damage. So if you haven't built her, go ahead and do so. Honestly, if you're running a break effect team without Harmony Trailblazer, you're missing out on so much damage, it's almost criminal. Now for your final slot, you are going to need a sustainer. The good news, you've got options. First up, Gallagher, a solid 4-star character who does his job without making too much noise. He boosts break damage, keeps your team alive, and allows Rappa to do her thing. But if you're feeling fancy, there's Linksha, our newest 5-star sustainer, who's also built perfectly for break effect teams. She's got everything Rappa needs: sustain, break damage boost, and enough utility to keep your entire team alive while Rappa does her ninja surfboard breakdance routine. Plus, she's a shiny and new character, so if you got her, why not use her? If you don't have Gallagher or Linksha, Huhu is also a good option. Attack will increase your break effect damage, and the energy regeneration you provide to your team by using her ultimate is also really good. If you don't have any of those, at that point just use whatever you have. Honestly, like Lynx works, Natasha works, Locha works, and any sustainer basically works, as long as you manage to keep your team alive. So there you have it. Rappa's dream team, May to buff break damage, Harmony Trailblazer to supercharge those breaks, and either Gallagher or Linksha to keep everyone alive while you break everything inside. It's not the most flexible composition in the world, but when you are out there surfing through the cosmos on a break damage rampage, you don't really need flexibility. All you need to do is to shatter your opponents. Alright, Rappa. Space Ninja, imaginary DPS, Rappa as in dropping bars, you know, supermodel, galaxy ranger, graffiti lover, I don't know, the list keeps going. Yeah, you heard that right, because apparently in Honkai Star Rail it is not enough to just break your enemies and look cool, you've got to drop bars while doing it, all while riding a surfboard. I know, you are already sold, right? Well, hold up. Here is where it gets tricky. See, Rappa is not the only new kid on the block. Sunday is coming, and Sunday, well, he is the kind of 5-star character that people are already losing their minds over. And if that is not enough, we've also got Fugue. And I did Google that, apparently it's Few, but I'm sure when she actually releases it's gonna be Fushwell or so, I don't know. Who's basically Tingyun's glow up. And let's face it, who doesn't love Tingyun? So before you go throwing your Jades at Rappa's pink-haired break damage goodness, you've got some serious competition to think about. Now you're thinking, okay, but Rappa looks cool, I like ninjas, I like surfboards, what could go wrong? Well, let's talk about Firefly. You know her, you love her, she's been the queen of break damage ever since her release, and yeah, she's probably stronger than Rappa herself. So now you're stuck with a real dilemma. Do you pull for the new girl, or are you going to stick with our good old Fire Queen? But here's the thing, Rappa is not just a Firefly copycat. She's got her own groove. She's fast, flashy, and doesn't care if enemies are not weak to imaginary or not. She's going to break them anyway. Her seal form lets her chain attacks like a pro, dealing break damage to everything in sight, and it looks good while she's doing it. Yes, Firefly is a fan favorite, but Rappa's got that I'm different but in a cool way type of energy going on. So should you pull for her? If you're into style points, insane break damage, a surfboard wielding ninja who doesn't care about your skill points, Rappa's your girl. But if you're waiting for Sunday or can't let go of Firefly or Fugue or Tingyun or whatever, and Firefly, maybe hold on to those Stellar Jades a little longer. I for once am going to wait for Tingyun. I'm just gonna call her Tingyun. Who cares? You all know who I mean. But either way, Rappa's here and she's making a splash, quite literally. If you made it this far, then leave a like, a comment, a sub, all of that stuff. I will also drop an E6 showcase for Rappa very soon, so if you're interested in that, then yeah, do your thing. Either way, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
The ninja, great line by my side. The Huntslug's arrow is my compass and guide. Here to blaze a trail, how you thought I misspoke? We'll take a bet to your shootout, cause rules are meant to be broke.
Lo, all aboard the universe's #1 train. Here to keep us all connected, but you thought this was a game.